Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Kim Seabrooks, and this is the KimberlyKristen Experience podcast. I'm so happy to have with me today Mr. Link Browen, who is an entrepreneur and a life coach. And he's going to tell us a little bit about his practice and a little bit about his life, and I'm so excited to have him here. Hello, Link. How are you? And
Hi,
welcome.
Kim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. So, you know what? I'm so excited to have you here because, you know what? I'm a life coach as well. And I concentrate mostly on mindset. So with you doing, your concentration is relationships, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that because a lot of us can use some help with our relationships. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. So before we go into your life coaching and the things that you do, tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from.
Well, I'm born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm an Air Force brat.
Okay.
I'm the youngest of three. I have two older sisters. So I was the baby. And it's got its ups and downs. But
Yeah.
I'm a divorced dad of two. I'm a mailman by trade. I've been being a mailman for 24 years this year.
Okay. Okay.
That's
So,
I go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. So since you're a mailman by trade, why life coaching? What brought you to that?
Actually, being a mailman, you are a life coach.
I can
Essentially.
imagine.
Yeah, I know all my customers' business, and I guess I perfected it as I've grown older and dealing with all my customers on a daily basis. That I remember the details of their situations, and I guess they're surprised that I do remember what they say to me the week before or 3 weeks before, and I could just pick up on the conversation. I just sit there and listen.
Okay, that's good. And I noticed for myself with life coaching, sometimes people they put you in a couple of boxes. You're either, they look at you as though you're a therapist,
right,
or they look at you as someone who knows everything that can, just, and I'm like, okay, I'm neither. Because, I'm going to tell you, I had a situation one time where a lady contacted me on Instagram, and she was telling me that she was going through a breakup, and she told me that she was thinking about suicide. And I'm like, oh, sweetie, I'm not a doctor. You need a doctor. I can't help you with that. So we're just there to guide you. And people want you to give them the answers, and we can't do that. Do you find that also?
I do, and it's comforting in a way that they can come to you and speak to you openly and open themselves and their emotions and everything about them in a situation. I embrace that. Something like that, that's a little scary, but I'm glad you dealt with it in a proper way.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of people coming to me, especially here as late as today. I mean, almost daily, I got somebody either at work I'm working with, or one of my customers that I deliver to, come out to me on a daily basis and come to me with their problems. Or one of my friends, they call me. I always get calls. And what my other friends don't know is the reason why I run late is I take the time to deal with one of my friends and when their calls, and I'm trying to consult them and get them through their situations.
Yeah, that's good. That means you have the patience.
I do.
You really need that. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, and I ask myself this: what makes you think that you're going to be different than? Because there's a lot of us out there. So what makes you think that you're going to be different from someone else who's a relationship coach?
I've had a lot of experiences. I've been through a divorce, a bad divorce, and not to where it was like I wanted to hurt somebody. It was just very mentally exhausting and frustrating. And I've been on the receiving end of cheating. I've been the cheater. I've went back to the women that I've dealt with in my life and apologized for not being who they wanted me to be. I just come full circle. And it wasn't that I was doing any 7 steps or 12 steps or anything like that. It was something in me that had to go and talk to whoever I dealt with in my life and come full circle with them. And a couple of them, I was surprised that when we sat down and had the conversation, when they were willing to have the conversation, that they opened up, cried, and it was beautiful, because you have this chance to sit there, and a lot of us deal with somebody and you're waiting for the apology. A lot of us wait for the apology that's never going to happen. And I just did it. I just took it upon myself to do that. I just feel that as I'm receiving my calling, there is something great for me out there. And I will continue to grow and be better at this. I'm just embarking on this, but I continue to grow. And that's why when you were asking who's ready to do a podcast, I jumped up.
Yeah.
I'm all in now. I'm all in. I'm fully embodied and excited, ready to go.
Yeah.
So I have plenty of ideas and that I'm ready to put into place. Yeah. And you will see that. And hopefully in a year from now, we'll have an interview. You'll see the difference from me.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. You're willing to put yourself out there. That's what you need to do.
I like to challenge myself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you, I had a few people do it. Put them, say that they wanted to do a podcast, but I only have a couple of people left. So it's like, not everybody is, people say they want to do something, but when it really comes down to
it. Right? That's okay. They got to break down a little bit, get the nervousness out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not me. What the thing is with me being a mailman, I'm always on stage. Everybody always looks for the mailman all the time. You're always on stage. So I could walk into the door of the mail truck or into a mailbox or to a tree. I've been through it all. I didn't bust my butt and just had to sit there and laugh at myself, knowing that somebody's looking out their window and looking at me too.
Yeah.
So, it's okay. It's not.
So what do you think are biggest issues when it comes to, and you mostly concentrate on male-female relationships or just relationships in general?
Male-female relationships. I can do relationships too, but male-female relationships.
Okay. What do you think our biggest issues are in relationships?
Money. I think a lot of it's money, especially here in today's climate. A lot of people are scrambling to survive. Yeah. And because of that places a lot of pressure in the household. Why'd you spend money on this? We can't afford this. That was a dumb purchase. You're not thinking right but yourself. So because of that sparks the flame, and then the gasoline gets thrown on it with everything else.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I totally agree with that. And I think that money is it's one big ticket item in a relationship. I also think that, wanting to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So I want to be heard. You want to be heard. So nobody's hearing anybody.
No, because you want to be right. Yeah. Everybody wants to be right. Yeah. No, you're not right. I'm right.
Yeah.
You feel muted in a relationship sometimes because you don't feel like you're not listening to me,
Yeah.
you know, and that is very difficult. That is so true because, boy, I tell you, I get a lot of friends that sit there and tell me, well, I told him this or I told her that. And
Yeah.
I said, okay, so what did you willing to accept? You got to be willing to listen. You know,
Mhm.
you can't be so defensive, be offensive, sit back
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
I mean, you sometimes the truth comes out in anger. And you gotta be willing to deal with the truth. A lot of people don't want to deal with the truth. You
Mhm.
know, you might smack your food when you're eating, and that could be irritating at the table. Okay, so
Mhm.
be considerate of you. If that's one of your high pressure points, then let me see if I could, deal with that, fix that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that
Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
You gotta think it's not just you in a relationship.
Yeah.
So you gotta be willing to bend a little bit. A lot of people don't want to
Exactly.
bend. They want to just, go straight forward and like my way is the right way.
Yeah.
I was victim of that for a little bit.
Oh, me too. Me too.
I had to get corrected. I had, they say the truth hurts. It hurt a little bit. You feel that in your chest a little bit, but once you sit down and think about how you feel about somebody
Mhm.
and what you bring and approach to them, a lot of it's in the approach. So if you approach them wrong, you're gonna get that back tenfold. So
Yeah.
if you approach them with almost like a velvet glove, then I think you'll get a better
Yeah.
response.
You know what? I didn't ask you this. I wanted to ask you this since you did mention that you went through a divorce. I mean, how did that make you feel as a person, as a black person, as a black man? How did that make you feel?
It hurt. It hurt because I was the cause of the divorce. I when we had our first child, I don't know if my ex-wife was going through postpartum or it was just communications. Everything was just different, and we still haven't discussed it. I just left it alone. But after our second child, um, I got caught cheating after the first one because it was just nothing. I mean, communication, nothing. Everything just went to like nothing.
Hmm.
And it's difficult to come home to someone that barely speaks to you, is tired, doesn't want to touch you. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating. So after the second child, I cheated again, and that was it. And
Mhm.
you're hurt, and you try to fix things, but I was like, I'm losing my family. That was the beginning of a long, like 4 years. I
Yeah.
mean, it was, we just separated, and we were trying to, see what's what, and then she had gotten a boyfriend, and I was dating too, but she
Mhm.
had gotten a boyfriend, and she was letting me know it was serious. So at that point, I just went ahead and filed,
Yeah.
and things got ugly.
Yeah.
Things got
Yeah.
ugly, but um, as as a as I know now, and I tell everybody this, sometimes it's more your ego than anything else because you're involved and you're ready to go forward with a divorce. People don't realize that your ego is being assaulted. And because of that, you want to assault their ego, you want to tear them down and break them down.
Mhm.
You can't do that. You have to push
Mhm.
your ego aside, you know, reel in the emotions and sit down and talk. I mean, you can settle things without a lawyer because you usually in divorce, lawyers win. Nobody
Mhm.
else wins, especially with kids. You know,
Mhm.
it just gets bitter and nasty. And so
Mhm.
I felt with a lot of pain, depression. You feel alone. Um, is you go from everything. And actually, at the time, it was during the crash. So
Mhm.
I had lost my house. So I
Mhm.
lost my house, lost my family. So I was starting from square one. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but I never spoke illy of her. I made sure that my kids uh, respected her, even though it's like death for kids.
Yeah.
I made sure that that was not going to happen
Yeah.
because I have two boys and they're going to respect their mother.
Yeah.
at all costs, especially being black men. You know, you respect a black woman. She is the queen of the household of
Yeah.
the world, and she is our backbone. So it starts at home. So I made sure of that. Even though I wanted to climb up the walls when, you know, she irritated me sometimes. And I did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, nowadays we're like best friends. So
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So you came out great on the other side of that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I told her one day, I just said, I'm not going to fight with you anymore.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just told her, that's it.
Yeah.
You can fight me all you want to. I'm not going to fight with
Yeah. So I wanted to find out, because you did mention something just then, just to give people a perspective of what was actually happening in your head while you were going through all of that, when you were doing the cheating. What in your mind made you cheat? Just so people can understand,
you. The
if someone is going through the same thing.
like it was being lonely while being married. You crawl into bed with somebody that you know doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you get into bed with someone and um, they're just their backs to you. You
Yeah.
know, you come home and it's basic conversation. Hey, you know, it's not nothing in depth. It's not nothing really caring and open and embracing. You
Yeah.
know, that was the difficult part. And cheating ain't great because when you do it and you come home, you don't want to look yourself in the mirror. You it's such a disappointment in yourself. You know, like it's and what I tell my friends, you know, and because they've always asked me, I said, you think about this. You waited all this time to get the partner that you have, and then you step out on them. Think about them stepping out on you, and everything you've done with the other person, they go and do, and see how you.
Mhm.
You gotta have that reflection. You gotta be honest.
Mhm.
You know, I yeah, I'm single now, and I got married friends and women that are married, and they call me and I say, "You stay and work it out. Don't try to slide out. Don't try to do nothing extra because you it's going to be a temporary thing, and I mean
Mhm.
very temporary." And I had
Mhm.
a couple that went out and did some dirt and come back and said it wasn't even worth it. It was so
Mhm.
disappointing. I said, "Well, that's what you got to deal with. Deal with
Yeah.
put one fire out before you start another."
Yeah. Okay. Great advice. Great advice. So I wanted to find out, what is your ultimate goal with your life coaching practice? Where do you see it going for you?
I want it to basically I want to help people because I know there's a lot of people that's guided out there, but I want it to grow. I want it to grow into it be not just my side hustle, but my main hustle. And
Mhm.
uh, not only for me to show that I can do this, but show my nephews, my nieces, my kids
Mhm.
that there is more than one way to go out there to make a buck. And you know, it's not about the money; it's about the freedom.
Mhm.
You work a 9 to 5, and you got to drive to work, and my commute's like 45 minutes to work. And you know,
Wow.
I lose that every day.
Yeah.
You know, I lose the time with my kids, and now they're getting old enough to where they can play basketball and get into sports. And I'm a very, very, very involved father.
Yeah.
I I'm very proud of that
Yeah. That's
because
awesome.
I take the time. Yeah, you know, I used to go have lunch with them, and whenever I go into the cafeteria, all the kids would, Mr. Link, you know, like I felt like and now my son's in 7th grade, and all the kids they still know me. All the
Oh,
teachers
that's good.
know me.
That's
Yeah,
good.
and I think it's essential for you to have that time, you know, because I tell them, I said in the morning I call them, I said. I said, "What's your name?" And they said her name, and I said, "You're kings in the making." So
Mhm.
you got to act that way. You got to present yourself as.
Yeah.
Hence
That's
the
awesome.
name King's Corners. You know, that's where I got.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. So how can people get in contact with you if they wanted to enlist your services?
If they wanted to, I just did my website today, so that's currently under construction. But you can email me at kingscorners.com. I mean kingscorners at Gmail. That's KEENGSKORNES at gmail.com.
Okay.
I'll have the website up shortly. Or you can get to me on Instagram, Twitter. I'm on most of the social media sites.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. What are your handles for your social media?
King's Corner.
Okay, they're all King's Corner. Okay, great. Okay. You know what? So so it's been so nice having you here. I want to ask you, because I know that you are a budding entrepreneur and you know you have your life coaching practice and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
For budding entrepreneurs, or if someone wants to get into life coaching, you know, if you want to, you know, want to give them some advice on how to go about doing that. I know you're currently working on a certification also.
What I would tell people is just to go for it. To research, talk to whoever you see on Instagram or Facebook. You know, reach out to them. Ask them how they got started.
Yeah.
What tools they use and platforms they use, and you got to get out your own head. You got to just take that leap. It's not as bad as you think. Because I actually came up with this 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I just, I spoke to someone and I asked them a question, and I asked them, if you had a chance to help people, and at the time I was thinking about doing something for men. I said, if you had a chance to help men, you know, grow and become greater men, what would you do? And it was an older gentleman, and he lived a life. You know, sometimes it's a tough life, but he lived a life. And he said, I wouldn't. I'd keep it for myself. And okay, I'm not gonna ask you any more questions. I'm gonna leave that alone. You know, and that's what I did. But it stifled me for a minute because I just took a step back, and I'll never do that again. I will never do that again. And the thing is that you will be pushed into your calling, whether you want it or not. It comes. It will always surface and resurface. And that's what happened to me. I just started feeling different. I was just like, I'm transcending. I knew it. I could feel it. And then I just was waiting. And then I just started taking action. I just started asking around. You know, where can I go? What can I do? What is that? And I just followed my passion. And and ever since, it's like the world has changed for me. You know, I've come across more people that are entrepreneurs. I've come across more business ventures that surprisingly opened up to me like out of the blue. It's like the gates are opening for me.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was believe. And that's why I would tell people, but whatever your talent is, exploit it. You know, my talent is people. You know, I've been delivering mail and talking to people for years. You know, I'm like some of like the third cousin to some people. You know, it's the weirdest thing. You know, they invite me to their Christmas parties, Thanksgiving. I can't make it. I still get invited. It's so uncanny, but you know, I think it's a blessing that people are that comfortable with me and are that willing to open up with me to tell me some of their deepest secrets that they don't even tell their family. You know? So I took that and I'm just starting to run with it.
That's good. That's good. So I wanted to find out, when do you think, now I know that your program hasn't fully launched as of yet.
Not yet, no.
Do you have an official launch date?
I'm thinking within a month. I want to do it before my birthday. My birthday's in May.
Okay.
So I'm thinking within a month. You know, it's just everything comes up. You got life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life and kids,
I
being a single dad, you know,
know.
and I'm very active in my niece's life,
Yeah.
and I look out for my parents too. So
Oh,
because of that, it's almost like I deal with two households.
yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I started making the time
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to envelop my business and my
Yeah.
life coaching.
Yeah. That's good.
Sometimes you get discouraged. Sometimes you get discouraged, and you know you're like, oh, I'm tired, you know. But then there's other times when you get these little affirmations that come
Yeah.
from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
As the world speaks to you,
Yeah.
you like, you know what? This is what I do.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like, you know, there are other life coaches out there, but I'm prepared to really make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why, you know, I'm glad there's other life coaches out there. I would
Mhm.
enough. There's how many billion people in the world? There's enough for everybody, you
Yes.
know. And
Yeah.
you know, me being who I am, I always set myself out. From,
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So, Link, it's been so nice having you here. And we have to do this again.
oh, definitely, I
Also,
enjoy it.
also give everybody your all of your social media again so they'll know where to get in contact with you.
You can reach me on Instagram at King's Corners. On Instagram, that's KEENGSKORNES.
Hmm.
Instagram, Twitter, and that'll be my website handle name.
Yes. Yes. Okay, great. You know what? I wanted to get into, and I didn't know if we were going to have enough time to do this,
Okay.
but I wanted to talk a little bit about some current events, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Okay. I wanted to ask your feelings on Donald Trump, because we're both life coaches. So I wanted to get into a couple of situations where we probably could help these people with their lives.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Donald Trump?
I think he likes to hear his name being said on a daily basis.
Yeah,
That's I think he feeds off of it. The celebrity in him.
yeah, narcissistic.
Very, very much so.
Yeah,
And I think I think he tries to get into the headlines. I think he just, you know, let's see what will go today,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And people feed off of it. It blows my mind. I was like, turn the
yeah,
news off.
yeah.
You know. I got my dad asked me, "Did you hear what he said today?" No, no. I'm not feeding that into my life today.
I know. I'm going to tell you something. We don't have cable. We have some other
Right,
stuff that we have around here. But
right.
I'll talk to my son and he'll, ask me about what did I hear about something also. And it's like, no, I don't listen to that stuff anymore because all you do is get angry. So it's like, no.
And that's exactly it. You got angry on this side, you got angry on that side, and it doesn't really matter. You know, you're feeding into either fear or anger
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
watching on TV.
Yeah.
And I got a friend down the street from me. He's a hard Republican, and I tell him, I say, I find it funny that you are a Republican. He said, why? I said, because you don't fit the demographic.
Yeah.
And he said, what does that mean? I said, you just don't fit the demographic. I said, you don't have a huge business that that feeds the machine.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to be honest with you. You're just a peon to them.
Yeah.
And he got angry with me, but essentially that's what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
they really can't hear our voices until we make one voice. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
they, a lot of companies and corporations, they have a larger voice because they have the money.
Yeah.
And my grandfather told me a long time ago, money is power.
Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. So, thank you again so much for being here. And I'm going to have to bring you on again because this was great.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing it. All right, I just want to let everybody know, if you are just joining us, this is the KimberlyKristen Experience podcast. And my guest today is Mr. Link Browen, who is an entrepreneur and a life coach. And he's been so great to be here and talk about his life and the things that he's planning on doing for people. If you want to be a guest on the KimberlyKristen Experience podcast, you can email me at kimseabrooks@gmail.com. That's kimseabrooks@gmail.com. You can reach me on Instagram at kimseabrook. That's KIMSEABROO. Twitter is Kimberly C. Brooks. Twitter is at KKC Brooks. At KKC Brooks. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back. All right, Link. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.